Hi there, welcome to yet another Facemaker video tutorial. I am Nuno, and today we'll be talking about Facemaker Pro. Yes, the professional edition. So what is Facemaker Pro? Well, Facemaker Pro is a version of Facemaker. It has an extra set of tools that will make your life easier when developing watch faces. So for instance, here on this watch face, which by the way was completely made in Facemaker, I didn't use any other external software. And this is an original design. It wasn't based on anything that you would find on the internet, okay? Well, maybe because nowadays there are hundreds of thousands different designs available for all watches and brands. And you might encounter or find some watch face that is similar to this one, but rest assured this was imagined and developed solely on Facemaker and without a reference image, okay? So yeah, Facemaker Pro. So the professional edition, it gives you a set of tools that will make your life easier when creating watch faces. And these are necessities, needs I have been identifying when working with Facemaker. So I imagine now I need to build something that is complex and that would usually take another or a third-party software to make it. And yeah, I'm trying to create the possibility to allow the user, the Facemaker user, to not having to resort to third-party softwares. And yeah, so that the Facemaker user will be able to create just about everything about a watch face without ever leaving Facemaker, okay? So this is Facemaker Pro. And of course, most of you have access to Facemaker Standard. And I'm making this video to show you why Facemaker Pro, if it's useful for you or not. And then you can judge for yourself if these sets of tools are useful for you, okay? So I'm gonna show you those extra tools, and they're located on different places here on the Facemaker interface. And for this, I am going to press New. So I'm going to start a new watch face. And to start with this description of the tools, I am going to start talking about physics. These three tools you see here, they're available only to sponsors who have access to Facemaker Pro. And yeah, to talk about physics, we need to have some widgets. So let's go ahead and add a background main container, and then add an image and clone it twice, okay? Let's get this out of the way and select this one. And let's load some of these automotive logos. And let's load 3 different logos, okay? So 1, 2, and let me choose another one here. So yeah, let's go with this one. And yeah, I am not sponsored by this brand. So now we have 3 widgets, okay? And these 3 widgets can be used as a physics body on the physics simulator. Let me show you. So let's go into the tools and physics. So now you'll see the physics generator. And what this does is it makes the selected widgets here on the right side, right now they're locked, it makes them physics bodies and then applies a gravity to them. And then Facemaker records the frames of the animation for you and makes a animation widget with those frames it captured. So let me show you. Right now, let's start talking about the simple convex hull. A convex hull is a barrier that is created around the objects and that defines where the collision will be detected. Okay, so these widgets will interact with each other, and what happens is we have to create a collision hull, a convex hull that will make each widget interact with each other. And what is this useful for? Well, it's just a tool for you to play around and create interesting aspects for your watch face. So let me show you what it does. So right now we have gravity set to 1, which would be the Earth's gravity, and we have set a simple convex hull for these 3 widgets, and we can enable or disable wireframe, but I want to see the images in each one of them. Okay, and now let's unlock them. So what this does is, instead of being a static object on the scene, they become dynamic if you unlock them here. So right now, if I press start, and there you go. If it's taken too long to stabilize, just press pause here, okay? Sometimes it can happen. And Facemaker captured 172 frames. So these are frames just like a movie, the frames from a movie. And they will be used now, if I press submit, to create an animation here. So now we have a GIF animation, a frame by frame, this one. And now let's hide these widgets, and let's disable the loop here option. And now let's press play. So you see that this logo here took a lot of time to stabilize. Well, it can happen. Things slide, and it will use more frames, and you don't want that, because right now we have an animation comprised of 86 frames. Okay, so this is what the physics generator does, and we can further improve this. So let me delete this animation. Let's show the 3 widgets and go back to Tools, Physics. And there we go. Now, if we set a complex hull here on this field and unlock them, let's press start. You'll notice that now they interact much better with each other. And I paused it because Facemaker had generated 154 frames. This can take some time to stabilize sometimes. So as soon as they stop or seem to stop, you should pause. Okay, and now we have the 154 frames. So let's submit. And the animation is here. So let's hide these 3 widgets and disable the loop and press play. Now you see that they interact much better. Now they are aware of their contour, and the collision is much more perfect than before. So this is the difference between complex and simple convex hull. Okay, so the simple creates a simple square around the shapes, which might be good enough for you because a simple convex hull is faster to calculate. The collisions of that object will be easier to calculate. While with a complex convex hull, you'll need a faster computer to create this kind of animation. And you may ask, well, what is this good for? Well, let me show you a watch face I have here. So, whatever physics, there you go. So I created this watch face as an example of what the physics are capable of. So all the animations on this watch face, as simple as it may look, were created on Facemaker. without any other software. Let me press play. So you see what this can do. It basically, I created these numbers all around, made them physics bodies, and then applied the gravity and recorded them falling. Okay, and they can interact with rigid bodies, fixed bodies on the scene. So yeah, this is what it may be useful for you. You can create this kind of stuff and create fun stuff. So you could even, let me show you here. So I'm gonna press new. And this will be the last example we'll be talking about. So here I'm gonna add an image. And right now I am gonna cover another Facemaker Pro feature. But we'll talk better about it in a few minutes. I'm just using it to make an example. So right now I scaled it and I'm going to apply the scale. Okay, this is important. And then I'm going to that one feature I talked about, which is the split feature. And this is a Facemaker Pro feature. You won't find it on Facemaker Standard. What does this do? Well, it splits the image in how many sectors you select here. You can keep the original, this one here. I'm not going to keep it, and I'm going to divide this into, let's say, 5 by 5. Okay, and submit. Now, Facemaker split that Ferrari logo into 25 pieces. So you can see they're now separate widgets. Okay, and now if we go into the tools, physics, and yeah, we can use the complex hull, or rather not. Well, since now we have a lot of elements, the simple kind of calculation will be better because it will be calculated faster. And for this, since they are all squares, a simple hull will be of perfect for this example. So right now I could have unlocked them all here. Well, yeah. Let's press start. Well, for some reason I have one that got stuck there. Let's pause and reset and press start. Well, this may be because I'm using simple hull. I don't know. Let's go and change this to complex and start. Well, maybe I didn't. Well, I see what's happening. So when I press reset here, you'll see that some are interacting, and that is confusing because they're very close to each other, and that makes the calculations confused. So we can try one more time. But yeah, you see what I was talking about. This is just an example. I mean, if we press play, and by the way, those are still there. So yeah, you see why this might be useful for you. It's a little, a little toy for Facemaker Pro users. Okay, and now I am going to proceed. And the next tool we'll be talking about is the calendar generator. So I have been asked by many users, how do you do calendars? I have seen this or that watch face and it features a calendar. Well, the calendars are a smart trick. They're composed of 3 different widgets that are cleverly designed to resemble a calendar. And let me show you here what it does. So immediately you'll see a preview of the calendar that Facemaker will generate. And here you can choose the colors you want. So I'm going for a darker kind of calendar. So I'm choosing a darker background color, okay? And here, this one is the dividing lines of the calendar. So if we make them brighter, there you go. And now this one is the font. So for the font, I am going with a lighter color too, okay? So this is done. And now, finally, there's the selected day or highlighted day. And here you can select the color of the highlights. So if it's day 5, it will have this color, okay? So let's go with this one. And you can also select the font. So the font and the font size for that matter. So yeah. You can also define the coordinates and the size of the calendar. I imagine this size because I think it fits most watch faces, because you don't want it to be too large or too little, okay? So just know that you can tweak it here, and Facemaker will create all images dynamically for you, okay? Let's make it a little bit bigger and go with another font here. So let me go with, no, not this one. Perhaps this one? Yeah, make it larger. So, and some fonts will appear more towards the top or the bottom. And for that, you have a little adjuster here. So that allows you to adjust the vertical position, just like that, okay? So yeah. This is the calendar generator, and if I press submit, you'll see that Facemaker created a background. Let me hide those other two. Created a background and then created a month, day, second digit. And you'll see that this is just a clever jigsaw of images, okay? And then finally, the month, day, high, which is also a collection of images that will show or hide depending on the day. So if I press preview here and show all the others, press preview, you'll see that it's the 17th here and the date is correct. So this works for any month of any year, okay? But there's one slight caveat. So, which is the calendar will always show 31 days here, okay? Even if it's February. And you can't align the weekday here on the top. So let me show you very quickly. Let's create an image set. And here we'll select the weekday. Pull it up and press generate. So I'm going with that color there, just to keep it the same, with the same theme. And now let's make it smaller, and let's change these. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay. So now we have all the right letters here, and we'll apply an offset, an horizontal offset, just like that, okay? And let's pull it down and try to match the location here. So just like this, and then increase the offset until we have a perfect result. And this is red because you have one more setting here, which is the selected day. So I'm gonna make it white, or close to white, or maybe not. Let's go with that gray there, okay? And this should be the other way around, but you get what I'm saying, right? So now let's pull it up just a little bit, and we have what could be called a perfect calendar with the weekday and all that, okay? So if I press preview, it will show the 17th here, but the day is Saturday. And this will change depending on the month. So you can't really make this. What I advise people to do is, instead of using this kind of image set that it shows each day on its column, I press generate, and then I use full day names. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and that's enough for now. So, and then I put it up here, okay? So if I come in here and insert Saturday, and I press preview, you'll see that it shows Saturday correctly, okay? So just keep this in mind. This is just a trick to you know, fake a calendar that is usable. I mean, it's pointing to the correct day. It just won't work if you try to match the weekday here on this line, it won't work, okay? So use that trick I told you. Just put the full name of the day up here and it should work perfectly. I mean, yeah. Wednesday or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Just to have this complete. And then we can switch between them and you see that it works perfectly, okay? So this was the calendar generator. And now let's cover another feature, another Facemaker feature, which is the image set generator. So sometimes you need to create progress widgets, which represent batteries or steps of any given day. And this tool will help you create those kinds of widgets. So let's come in here and select tools and go with the image set generator. And there we go. Now this seems very simple, and in fact it is. So what it basically does is it takes in a static image and slices it into many pieces that you can use to build an image set. And for that, I am going to search for a battery image on the internet. Something like this. Switch to images, and now let's select one image here. So, yeah, this one. So let's save it. And I'll save it on Downloads folder. And now let's go back into Facemaker and click this button. You could also load images from the library, but I am loading this one from the hard drive. So let's go into the Downloads folder and select that battery image here, okay? So now we have this image, and what can we do with it? So basically, you can click a start point here and the end point here, just like that. And now we can fine-tune it just like this and pull it up just a little bit, and the same on the bottom. So yeah, this will work. And now we press this button, split, and there you go. Immediately you'll see that you have, in this case, 11 images, not 10. So let me explain you this. These are the sections. So it creates 10 sections and one is empty, okay, which is the 0 battery, for example. So now we can save this set we created. So let's press save, select an output folder and press select folder, images saved. And now we can close this. So let's add an image set, a container. Let's set it to battery, just like that. And let's select image set. And here, select the battery data type. And you can see that we have here 11 images necessary for this. So they are ready here on the downloads folder. All we have to do is shift, select those 11 images we cut and press open. And you can see anything because right now it's on frame 1. But if you press shift and rotate the mouse wheel, there we go. You have an image set that represents battery. Let me make this smaller because right now it's huge. So you see that what Facemaker did, it split that image, that static image, and created an image set for you, a progress image set. And this could be used on any of your watch faces. So you could make it this big or small, and if you press preview, you can see that it's growing. Okay, so this is basically the one of the tools for creating image sets in Facemaker. And this is a Facemaker Pro feature, so only sponsors have access to this. Okay, now I'm going to show you another feature that will make your life easier. Now that we have this image set, and let's make it bigger, you'll notice that it didn't lose any quality. This is because Facemaker only resizes images when you export. That way, unless you press this button, this will make it final, okay, which is apply transformations. So Facemaker only really resizes your images in the end when you export. That way, all the images are kept with maximum quality, okay? So let's say you have this image here and you want to create a background, because right now you see when it's 10 or 20%, you have nothing here. So we want to give an indication of where the image set will always be. Call it a placeholder, okay? How do we do that? Well, usually you would have to export this one image, the full one, and remove saturation, make it grayscale, make it darker, and put it behind this widget. But on Facemaker, all you have to do is go in here, select the last image, and then press this button and select Frame to Image widget. And what Facemaker did was create an image widget from that last frame of this image set. So now we have a static image of that final image, of that final frame of the image set. And we can use it as a background. So let's put it behind the image set, hide the image set so we can see the image. And let's go into the effects and select grayscale. So now it's we removed all saturation. There's no color information here, only gray colors or grayscale colors. And now let's make it a little bit darker, or we can use the opacity also. So just like that, okay? And okay, now we can enable this image set. And if we press play, now you see what's happening. So in a few minutes, without ever leaving Facemaker, we created an image set, created the placeholder for the image set, and now we could use it to represent the battery progress, okay? So this is another one of the sponsor-only features. One of the features of Facemaker Pro, which is the frame to image widget, okay? This normally won't be enabled, and you must have Facemaker Pro for this feature to be available, okay? So now let's proceed and let's see here. So if we had an image here, and let's load an image from the library. Let's go with a cartoon one. And let's choose good old Bob here, okay? So Bob wants to be warped. And for that, warp is a feature from Facemaker Pro that will allow you to slightly warp the images. And let me show you how it works. So you see, you may want to change the perspective of some widget. And what this allows you to do is warp it and make it fit some perspective. So right now I have warped good old Bob here, and I'm going to save. And there you go. Bob was warped, and the image now is representing that warp modification you made. So since we had a handle here and one here, when the image is warped, it respects that boundary. So right now, if you want to optimize the image after being warped, all you have to do is come in here and press crop to content. There you go. Now, crop to content is a Facemaker standard feature, so you have it available. So you don't need Facemaker Pro for that. But warp, you do. And what is this useful for? Well, I can show you a couple of examples. Let's add a time main container here, and then add an image set, and select hours first digit, okay, and press generate. So Facemaker will generate this hours first digit for you. And let's select another font real quick. Let's go with this one, for example. Yeah, I like it. And let's increase the size. Remove the border. There you go. And now it's ready to be warped. What I usually do, if you notice, this is a set of 3 images. The first digit on the hours, okay? So it can only go up until 23 o'clock or 23 hours. So if I close this, we can first crop the content, and Facemaker will optimize and cut the unnecessary pixels around each of the images while keeping them the same width and height. Okay, so now this is ready to be warped, and I'm going to select warp and warp it just like that. So you may have cases where this is useful, where you want to adapt numbers to a certain perspective. And this is done. Let's press save. And what Facemaker did was warp all the images in one take. So you may notice this has a slight deviation here. This is because I wasn't using the center control point. Let me show you. So let me add again the image set, hours first digit, and generate. And Facemaker will have the same last settings we used. Let's crop the content and press warp. There you go. Now if we warp the images just like that, you'll notice that we have a center control point that you can touch, at least yet. For that, you must enable this feature here. So no, it's not this one, it's this one. It's the center point enable, okay? So once we enable the center point, we can fine-tune its location and perhaps improve the look of the warped images. Let's press save, and it's improved a little bit. I mean, yeah, maybe this isn't a perfect case for the as an example, this font, but you see what it does. Okay, you can use it for images, image sets, animations, but not image combos. Okay, image combos, since image combos, as explained on another video, are a set of images that are shown that shows number of images at the same time, while image set only shows one. Okay, so image set is we can warp an image set, but not an image combo, because it's composed of many images at the same time, and it wouldn't work. Okay, because I mean, we could, for example, let's say we have, let's add an image combo here. No, not here. Let's add a steps container, because many people ask me this. Steps container, and let's add an image combo. Okay, and let's press steps and generate. Okay, so make this smaller. So, as you know, an image combo is composed of various images at the same time. They're stitched together to show a complex number. If I used warp, you can see that it's not available here, but if I made it available and you came in here and resized the image combo and warped it, What you were really warping was the 5 here and warping its height. But when it was used here, it would be this tall. So it wouldn't work, okay? Trust me. This is not a tool for image combo, okay? So yeah, I think the warp tool is, explained. The warp tool works well with square images. So let me show you real quick here. Let's choose this tiger pattern and make it smaller, something like 200. Okay, so you'll notice that when I apply a warp here and change it, the results will be perfect. Because this is a square image and this was built to warp square images. Although you can use it on complex images, just like you've seen with SpongeBob. So yeah, this is best for square images, pure square images. Okay, so this is the warp tool. Let's add another image and let's try to show you another feature. So right now, this one, we'll load an image for the background. Let's go into the library, which is faster, and let's select this. Let's say this one. Okay, and now we have this one here, and we need to sample a part of that image. Okay, and this was, maybe I should load a complex watch face, and this will be fast. So this one, for example. There are cases where you need to sample the background of a watch face and to use it for anything above it. Okay, so what Facemaker allows you to do is add an image, place it wherever you need it to be. So for example, let's sample this part here. Okay, and you can see that the widget is here. It is empty, it doesn't have an image, but we can fix that by going here and selecting copy from background. And there you go. Now what Facemaker did was sample everything that is behind this widget and copy it into that image widget above. So now we have a complete copy of it. And this is useful to create copies from any element and then use it on above layers. Okay, so this is a copy from background. And now let's proceed and show you one of the single best features, at least for me, because I use it to create, for example, that watch face you saw. It was developed using solely Facemaker and using this feature, which is the draw vector. So what draw vector does is it draws vectors. So we can select a bunch of points, connect it, fill it, and save. Now we have this shape. Okay, and if we go here and crop the content, and then we can apply gradients, for example, and use it as a element of our watch face. So basically, this allows you to create elements for your watch faces and, create panels and all that, for example. So let me show you a practical case here. You know that one watch face I had opened, the Red Menace? And by the way, this is a temporary name, but you see, these panels here we're creating with the vector draw tool, and this one here also. Okay, this was created with the vector draw tool right here. These marks here, these ticks, hour ticks and minute ticks, we're creating with the vector draw tool. These red lines here were created with the vector draw tool. So you see, the uses for this tool are endless. And let me go and add a new image on a blank watch face and select the draw vector tool. And let me show you how it works it's still in its, I've implemented it some weeks ago, and so this is in beta stage, and it still has a long way to go, but already it is a very powerful tool. So for this, I usually enable the guidelines because it allows me to detect where the center is, okay? So let's say you wanted a panel here to display hours, something. So you click and you add points, and you can later edit them, just like this, okay? And this allows you to edit the position of the points, but you also have control points that allow you to create round curves, okay? So just like this. And let's try and finish this shape. You know, it's not the most beautiful shape you saw, but yeah, I'm just exemplifying. So right now I don't need this dot here, and to delete it, all we have to do is press Alt over, go over the point, and mouse click. There you go. So, and now we need to connect these two. So this is very easy. Just drag it and drop it there. And now we can continue editing our shape. Just like that, okay? So let's say you wanted a shape here to put the hours or something. So I am creating this shape here, and we'll try to maintain the same location for the dots here and here, okay? And this is very organic, I know, but I prefer it that way, okay? So in the end, you won't notice this was made by hand. So let's click the fill button here, and it's filled, and now we can press save. So you'll notice that we only have half a shape. So I usually do it this way because then it's easier to make it exactly the same on the other side. Just come in here, press Effects, and press Mirror, and press the horizontal option. And there you go, all done. And we can, for example, add a gradient. This one here. And by the way, to apply the gradient, you should always crop the content, because the gradient is applied to the whole image. And since this is a full-sized image, so it's using all the watch canvas, the gradient will start here and end here. So we want to crop it to content, just like that. Oh, sorry. Let's crop the canvas and apply the mirror effect. Remove the gradient, apply the mirror. There you go. And now we can crop the content. And then we go and apply a gradient. And you know, create a dark gradient or anything like. You can give it some, you know, some funny effects, some beautiful effects I must add. So let's go with dark colors here, something like that. And then you can add a bevel, invert this to make it look like the light comes from above, and make the highlight slightly darker, just like that. And perhaps give it a little blur. And now let's hide the guidelines and lock this layer. So you see what we have here, okay? So we can do a lot of things with the Draw Vector tool. And I have shown you how to add points and how to delete them, how to close a shape and fill it, and use it to create some shapes, some panel, for example. So let's say you just want to create lines. Well, you can do it. You add an image, press Draw Vector, and then click, add the first point, add the second point, and then if you press Shift and click, Facemaker will add an independent dot. And now if we click here, there you go. This is how you add independent lines, not closed lines, okay? And in this case, I don't advise you to try and close and fill, because this will happen, okay? So Facemaker will try to find a way to close this shape, and this is what it does. So this is not perfect for filling a shape. And if you're doing this, you don't want to fill it, actually. So, oh yeah. So I forgot to click Shift. So we delete this one right there, and click Shift and click the mouse button, and there we go. So Shift and click, and there we go. Now we can add some thickness, just like that, and save. And this is how you do simple lines. This is useful for many things. For example, on that one, Red Menace watch face, I used it, now let me see here, for these lines here, these red lines, I used it for this one here. So you can see it has many uses, and yeah, I advise you to, you know, explore and see what you can do with it. So let's go into the next tool. We're almost finished, I guess. So let's add another image. So here, image, and here you'll notice that we can draw text also. What the draw text does, it's another toy, basically. So if I change this to Facemaker Rules and select some font here, you can use just about any font, increase the size, and let's select a more cheerful color, and now all we have to do is draw. Okay, and you can clear the canvas and write again. So the faster you go, the taller the font will be. So you see, so if you go slow, the letters will be more or less the same size. Okay, so I am gonna add some more options on this tool that will allow you to stop the letters when it gets to the end of the phrase. So right now it's looping. It gets to the end of Facemaker Rules and starts writing Facemaker Rules again. So I'll add an option that will enable you to keep the loop or not. Okay, so this is the text draw tool, and yeah, it's one more of the available tools for specifically for sponsors. Okay, so yeah. Finally, let's talk about the image to image set tool. Well, remember I said that there were two tools that allowed you to convert a static image into an image set. The first one was this one, the image set generator, but you have another one, and let me show you. So I'll add a background container and then an image, and here I am going to draw a vector. So let me just enable the guidelines, and I'm going to create a slant sector just like this, and like this, and there we go. And now let me fill it. Let's take a look. Yeah, it will do, I guess. Just a small adjustment. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, this is done. So now we have this little graphic, this little image we created, and we want to make an image set out of it. So something that grows horizontally or vertically. In this case, I am going to make it horizontally grow and show battery or steps or something. So the first thing is that whenever you create a vector draw, the image is made for the same size as the watch canvas. And first we need to crop it. So crop the content, okay? So now it's just this image, this single image. And we want to create an image set from it. So for that, you have this little tool here, image to image set. And when I click it, you have this, this tool that you can then create the number of sectors you want. So let's say 10 and 10. And then increase the offset, the horizontal offset. And there we go. So now we have a line or a horizontal bar that will grow according to the value, okay? And this is now done. We can now save and export the images. And I'll use the downloads folder. It will overwrite those images I created before, but it doesn't matter. So let's go into the widgets, add a container, add a, let me see here, battery. I think that the battery takes 11 images and I only created 11. So let me see here. So image set, battery, and now we'll see how many I created. So yeah, it creates 11. If I select 10, it creates 11 because the first one is always an empty one, okay? So we'll press open and there we go. The image set is here, and as before, you know you have to scroll through the frames. So to do that, just press Shift and scroll the mouse wheel. And there we go. We have an image set created from that one image, that first sector we created. And after this, we can apply a gradient, just like this. And let's go with the classic gradient where it starts red, goes to yellow, and finally to green. Like this, okay? And yeah, it's a battery image set that will grow and show the current value for the battery. But as before, you'll notice that we don't have a placeholder behind. And this is very easy, as you may have seen before. We apply this gradient and we export this last frame into an image. Let me see here. There you go, frame to image widget, yeah. And now we have this image that we can put on the background like that, and remove the color information by selecting a grade, or rather, yes, we can use a gradient. Let me show you here. So we'll make it white, okay, and then we apply an opacity modifier, and this will make it darker, okay. So now we can show this image set and press play. And there we go. So this is the image to image set feature. It's another way for you to build image sets from a static image. Yeah, I think I covered most of the tools that sponsors have on Facemaker. And yes, if you have any doubt about any of these, you can always contact me on Discord, ask here on YouTube, or email me. You have all my info on the video description, okay? So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye!